A warm good evening to all the participants. Once again, I welcome all of you for the 6 days FDP commemorating 1 year of transformational reforms under NEP 2020. Today, we will be having a thematic webinar on skill, entrepreneur development, and employability challenges and opportunity. So, kindly make the session useful by asking queries at the end of the session. Now, I request Induja ma'am to commemorate the
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Extend your arms and welcome to the future. The best is yet to come. With these words, I would like to welcome a respected Dr. R. Manikam Sir, Secretary and CEO of Ratnam College of Arts and Science, Dr. R. Muralidharan Sir, Principal, Ratnam College of Arts and Science, Dr. S.N. Suresh Sir, Dean, IQSE, Dr. Srinivasan Sir, Head, Department of Microbiology, Dean of the respective departments, Head of the departments, faculty members, and every single person gathered here. It gives me immense pleasure to extend you a very warm welcome on behalf of the Ratnam College of Arts and Science, IQSE, and Ratnam Faculty Development Cell in association with various departments jointly organizing 6 days faculty development program commemorating 1 year of transformation reforms under NEP 2020. Now, I take the privilege to welcome the resource person of today's session, Dr. C. Kanagrat Sir, Head, Department of Biotechnology, to address the gathering on the topic Skill, Entrepreneurship Development and Employability, its challenge and opportunities. We welcome you, sir. You can take over the session.
Thank you, ma'am. I will share my screen. Can you able to audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Very good afternoon to all. So first of all, I would like to thank our CEO sir and principal sir and FDCCL coordinator Dr. Srinivasan sir for the given this opportunity. Today I'm going to present skill, entrepreneurship, development and employability challenges and opportunities. So in 2015, so national policy for the skill development and entrepreneurship, they had developed the national policies, okay, based on our requirements. Based on our requirements, they had developed the policies in 2015. The main vision of the policy to create an ecosystem of empowerment by skilling and large scale at speed with high. So create ecosystem for the empowerment by skilling the persons in a large scale level, and also standards and to promote a culture of innovation based on the entrepreneurship which can generate. And third one is wealth and employment, so as to ensure the sustainable livelihood for all citizens in the country. This is the vision of the skill development in 2015. The mission of the statement to create a demand for skilling across the country and also correct and align the skilling with required competencies and connect the supply of skilled human resource with sectoral demands, certify and assess in alignment with global and national standards, catalyze the ecosystem, catalyze an ecosystem to productive and innovative entrepreneurship, germinate, sustain, and grow, leading to creation of more dynamic entrepreneurial economy and more formal wage of employment. So, professors, you know that. So, our young India nations world have more than 62% of youngsters. So, working in 15 to 59 years. So, working age people, we have more than 62%. It's 54% of its total of population below 25 years of age. So, India will have 54% of people below 25 years. So it's a huge opportunities. We have a huge opportunities. It's a pyramid அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா எப்பவுமே நேரம் cone shapeல போகும். But our pyramids, so skilled person and human resource pyramid is bulge. Okay. So this is the status of current status. So based on the it's a economic growth. National Skill Development Corporation of India, they have categorized the skills based on 4 different ways. Skill level 1 is a semi-skilled persons. Skill level 1 is a semi-skilled persons can be acquired through the short-term courses, focused interventions and on the job training. So level 1 it's a job training peoples. Skill level 2 is a skilled persons. It's specific to occupation and can be acquired through the technical and vocational training. Technical or vocational training peoples. Third level, highly skilled people. Highly skilled people like highly technical or commercial level operation and can be acquired through the degree, diploma and post-graduation education. This is the highly skilled people. So we are producing the highly skilled people. And fourth level, highly skilled with the specialization. Highly skilled with the specialization involving the research and design that can be acquired through the doctorate or many years of working experience in the specific sector or area. So these are the NSDC classified the 4 level of skills: semi-skilled, skilled, highly skilled and highly skilled with specialization. So according to the Indian Skill Report 2015, it was established in India lack in the development of skills. We are lacking in the development of skills of the students applying for a role in a labor market. 1/3 of number of skill match the requirement of the employers. So we have a sufficient manpower. But the question mark is whether they are skilled people or not. That's a question mark, big question mark. So the skill gap. So expected for industries 2022 in infrastructure we need a 103 million peoples. Infrastructure development we need a skilled persons 103 million, and automobile 35 million, and building construction process we need a 33 million, textile clothing 26.2 million, transport and logistics 17.7 million, organized retail shop, e-commerce, these are the things we need a 17.3 millions, real estate service 14 million, healthcare system 12.7 million, food processing 9.3 million, but education skill development service 5.8 million. But nowadays this sector will be increased, maybe COVID situation, the education sector, the skilled persons we need more. So this is the skilled requirement for the 2022. So next year. Okay. So according to the 12th plan of the planning commissions, 85% of the labor force in the education qualification up to secondary level, within which 55% of education qualification only up to the primary level. But we are lacking in the vocational and training process. Person is only 2% of persons available in Indian market. So we are producing all the graduates, postgraduates, doctorates, but the skilled labor is very, very minimum level. So now the huge opportunities they have in vocational and skilled laborers. So this is the visions we are going to implement in the national education policy. The vision of the policy is to instill among the learner a deep-rooted pride in being Indian. Not only that, but also in spirit, intellect, and deeds, as well as to develop the knowledge, skill, values, and disposition that support the responsible commitment to the human rights, sustainable development, and living, and global well-being, thereby reflecting the truly global citizens. This is a vision of the NEP 2020. So NEP 2020 so it's a para 4.5. So what they mention about the skilled practice, the curriculum content will be reduced in each subject to its core essential to make a space for the critical thinking and more holistic inquiry based, discovery based, discussion based, and analysis based learning system we should apply. The amended content will be focused on key concept, ideas, application, and problem solving. Teaching and learning will be conducted in a more interactive manner. Question will be encouraged and classroom session will be regularly contain more fun, creative, collaborative, and exploratory activities for the students for the deeper and more extreme learning system. But nowadays, what situation we face, we know all of you. So in para 4.23, while the students must have a large amount of flexibility in choosing their individual curriculum, particular subject, skills and capacities should be learned by all students to become good, successful, innovative and adaptable, productive human being in today rapidly changing the world. In addition, proficiency in languages, the skill include scientific temper and evidence-based thinking. So what they are thinking, so then we need a evidence based on the prototype, then creativity and innovativeness, sense of aesthetic and art, and oral and written communications, health and nutrition, physical education, fitness, wellness and sports, collaborations and teamwork. So we should teach problem solving and logical reasoning, vocational exposure and skill, digital literacy, coding and computational thinking, ethical and moral reasoning. So knowledge and practice of human constitutional values, gender sensitivity, fundamental duties, citizenship skills, value, knowledge of India. Then environmental awareness, including the water and resource conservation, sanitation, hygiene, and current affair of knowledge of critical issues facing local communities. And they can adapt to the state, country, in the world. So we should teach all together, but in higher, it's starting from the school education itself, not in middle with the higher education institution. So we should teach everything in starting from the school education. Then only we can able to adopt all the peoples. So in 4.24, concentrated the curricula and pedagogical initiatives, including the introduction of contemporary subjects such as artificial intelligence, design thinking, holistic health, organic living, environmental education, global citizenship education. It's at relevant stages will be undertaken to develop these various important skills in student all the level. So these are the things we should implement in the NEP, new education policies. So after that, how after getting the graduation, employability. So how we could produce the employability skills. Particularly, they need a knowledge based on their subject or subject they are studying. So acquire knowledge and also skill. So their knowledge will apply based on their skills and how they behave like that, attitudes. These are the important three different skills for the employability. So employability skills, we have differentiated and classified three forms. One is transferable skills, hard skill, and soft skill. So transferable skills, it's we can't able to depend on the one career. So that's a big drawback for us. So skills that are not specific to one particular career path, but generic across all employment sectors. So transferable skills is important for all the peoples. So ஒரு வேலை செட் ஆகல அப்படின்னா இன்னொரு வேலைக்கு switch ஆகணும். That's transferable skills. இண்டஸ்ட்ரி பிடிக்கலையா, அகாடமிக் பிடிக்கலையா, இண்டஸ்ட்ரி போகணும். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி switch over skills we need. And hard skills. So hard skill is the measurable skills, quantitative skills. So what we are teaching in our students, so how to measure, we know that based on the examinations and practical project. These are the things are quantitative skills from hard skill. Then soft skills, how they behave to other people. So how to reflect their behavior based on the soft skills it will deliver. So these are three kind of skills we need for the employability. So importance employability skills abin pathina. So willingness to learn. Willingness to learn. So for wherever we are going to work, whatever we want to do, so we need to update our day-by-day activities and skills, technologies. So we need a willingness to learn. Then good business sense. Good business sense means என்ன ஒர்க் பண்றீங்களோ அந்த ஒர்க்கை பக்காவா பண்ணணும். That's a sense. So good business sense. Optimism. So optimism means it's a level of headed. So எப்படி வந்து we should get work from others and also approach to the others. So நம்மளோட co-workers கூட எப்படி ஒர்க் பண்றோம், எப்படி வந்து அவங்கள ஒர்க் வாங்குறோம் அப்படிங்கிறது எல்லாமே இருக்கு. So optimism. So positive approach. Then resilience is a quick get back. So கீழே விழுந்தாலும் எந்திரிச்சு நிக்கணும் குயிக்கா. That's a resilience skills we need. எவ்வளோ அடிச்சாலும் எவ்வளோ கீழே தள்ளி விட்டாலும் உடனே குயிக்கா எழுந்து நின்று ஒர்க் பண்ணணும். That's a resilience skills important. Then adaptability. So எந்த மாதிரி சுச்சுவேஷனாக இருந்தாலும் எந்த மாதிரி ஒர்க்கிங் என்வாயன்மெண்ட்டாக இருந்தாலும் so we need an adaptability. So ability to work under pressure. Ability to work under pressure. Then perseverance. So perseverance is important. நம்மளோட பொசிஷனை யாருக்காகவும் எதுக்காகவும் விட்டு கொடுக்க கூடாது. That's a perseverance. Preserve your position. Then positive attitude. Positive attitude. Attitudes is important. Then self-management. Self-management. Then support to others to achieve success. Support to others in achieve success. Think ahead. These are the important of the employability skills we need. So we should teach our students also. Coming to the entrepreneurships. So entrepreneur abina enna? So it's a process of designing, launching and running a new business. So யார் வந்து ஒரு டிசைனிங் ப்ராசஸ்ல ஒரு நியூ பிஸ்னஸை வந்து லான்ச் பண்றாங்களோ இல்ல ஆல்ரெடி எக்ஸிஸ்டிங் பிஸ்னஸை கேரி அவுட் பண்ணி கொண்டு போறாங்களோ தே ஆர் த என்டர்பிரனர். தே ஆர் ப்ரொவைடிங் த ஜாப். தே ஆர் ப்ரொவைட் ஃபார் த ஜாப். ஸோ டெவலப்மெண்ட் ஆஃப் என்டர்பிரினர்ஷிப் ஸ்கில்ஸ் in education institutions. So important factors: interactive teaching, treating the students as a mature individuals. So இன்னும் வந்து அவங்கள வந்து சின்ன பசங்களாவே பார்க்காம ஸ்கூல் ஸ்டூடெண்டாவே பார்க்கலாம். We should treat as a mature persona treat பண்ணணும். Student presentation, we should allow the students to present their thought. Role play exercise is important. Role play exercise. So நம்மலாம் வந்து ஸ்கூல் டேஸ்ல மேபி பண்ணியிருப்பீங்க. நீங்க முதல்வர் ஆனால், நீங்கள் கலெக்டர் ஆனால், நீங்க வந்து மினிஸ்டர் ஆனால் என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க? ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி ரோல் பிளே இஸ் an important exercise for the students. You are the manager, you are the CEO, you are the director, okay, you are the owner of the company. So give a problem. So how you are going to solve particular situations. So role play exercise is important for the development of entrepreneurial skills. And outbound training, resilience to building exercise, then continuous assessment to the students, internship in industry, ICT enable flexible teaching, self-directed learning system. Self-directed learning system is nothing but it's online SWAYAM, NPTEL. These are the things. Self-learning system. So what they need currently, what they need, so they should learn from self. Problem-based learning system and mini project, major project. So these are the things we should develop the skills based on the entrepreneurship. Challenges. So challenges பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் பாத்தீங்கன்னா, so நம்ம கண்ட்ரில insufficient capacity இருக்கு. ஸோ அந்த அளவுக்கு வந்து ஒரு டெக்னாலஜி ரிசோர்ஸ் வந்து அந்த அளவுக்கு இல்லை. ஒரு ஸ்கூல் எஜுகேஷனாக இருந்தாலும் சரி, ஸோ ஹையர் எஜுகேஷன் சிஸ்டமாக இருந்தாலும் சரி, ஸோ அந்த ஒரு கெப்பாசிட்டி பில்டிங் இஸ் inadequate. So insufficiency, that's a big challenge. Then mobilizations அப்படின்னா சீக்கிரம் வந்து டெக்னாலஜி வந்து அடாப்ட் பண்ணிக்கிறது. ஸோ அந்த ட்ரெடிஷ்னல் வே ஃபாலோ பண்ணாம குயிக் அடாப்டபிள் டெக்னாலஜி, that's a big challenge. Mobilization process. Scalability, so we don't have how much requirement need, how much skilled person need அப்படிங்கிற exact and a scale we don't have. So industryக்கு என்ன need இருக்கு, then academic என்ன need இருக்கு அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு கான்ட்ரோவர்சியா மட்டும்தான் இருக்கு. So we are lacking of the scalability. Skills mismatch. So இண்டஸ்ட்ரிக்கு ஒரு தேவை ஒன்றா இருக்கும், பட் வி ஆர் ப்ரொடியூசிங் டிஃப்ரெண்ட் வே. இண்டஸ்ட்ரிக்கு என்ன தேவையோ அந்த மாதிரி ஸ்கில்டு பர்சனை நம்ம ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணுறதே கிடையாது. ஒன்லி தே ஆர் ரெடி ஃபார் த டிகிரி, ஒன்லி தியரிட்டிக்கலி தே ஆர் ரெடி, பட் டெக்னிக்கலி இட்ஸ் லேக்கிங். தட்ஸ் அ ஸ்கில்ஸ் மிஸ்மேட்ச். வி ஹாவ் அ லாட் ஆஃப் facing the problem in industry and academia. So these are the 4 challenges we have in front: insufficient capacity, mobilization and scalability, skills mismatch. Opportunities, you know that, so already I say the skill gaps. India is a very interesting stage of its demographic dividend. More than 60% of our population in the working age group, which is expected to cross 65% by 2036. That is the great opportunity in front of us, but only if leveraged properly. Thus, the Indian government has also recognized skill development as one of the major initiatives. If skill gap is filled, then India will have a greater demographic advantages, because the economic development of country depends on the skill productivity and labor forces. The National Higher Education Commission, it is estimated that the average age of population in India by 2020 would be at 29 years against 40 years in USA, 46 years in Europe, 47 years in Japan. So இங்க இருக்கிற 29 years கூட கம்பேர் பண்ணீங்கன்னா யூஎஸ்ல வந்து அவங்களுக்கு 40 இயர்ஸா இருக்கும், யூரோப் கண்ட்ரீஸ்ல 46 years, Japanல 47 years, the percentage of peoples. It is also estimated that during the next 20 years, the labor force in industrial would be expected to decline the 4%. In India will increase by 32%. So these are the huge opportunity we have in front of our hand. We should utilize the opportunities. So these are the things we are going to create a policy in higher education institution, national innovation and startup policy in 2019 for the student and faculty. So Ministry of Human Resource and Ministry of Human Resource and Institution Innovation Council, they had developed the NISP 2019. So we also adopted the NISP policies, strategies and governance. So we have a coordinators of a NISP policy implementation and startup enabling institutional and infrastructure. We have enough facilities available for the startup process and nurturing the innovation and startups. We are initiating the innovation process. So Ideathon, Hackathon and problem statement finder camps. So in students level, faculty level, so we are initiating every year. Then product ownership rights for the technology developed at institute. So we are clearly have a policy. So for the development of the product ownership rights and organizational capacity, human resource and incentives, creating innovation pipeline and pathway for the entrepreneur at institution level, norms for faculty startups. We have our own norms for the faculty startups and pedagogy and learning intervention for the entrepreneurship development. We also already include the innovation, design thinking, core entrepreneurship purpose and subject, collaboration and co-creation, business relationship and knowledge exchange, We are writing the MOUs with the different industries and entrepreneurial impact assessment. So these are the policies we had created already in last year and also accepted in MIC, Ministry of Information Innovation Council, also accept our policy. So in coming days, we are going to explain, so what are the policies we are adopted and how it's benefit for the students, how it's benefit for the faculty members, and what is the milestone of the NISPs. So we are framing the 3 years of milestones for the each schools. So what we are going to do. So everything in coming presentations, I think next presentations will deliver the in separate for the NISP adaptations. So these are the initiative we are taking. So we are go through our vision of our institutions. Our visions to emerge a world-renowned institution that integrated with the industry to impact knowledge, skills, research culture, and values in youth who can accelerate the overall development of India. Our mission to impart superior quality of education at affordable cost, nurture the academic and research excellence, maintain eco-friendly and future-ready infrastructure, and create a team of well-qualified teaching professionals who can build the global competency and employability. The core purpose of the group of institutions to produce that transform the youth into national assets. We are working toward our institution vision mission now statement. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for your enriching words.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, once again for giving a thought-provoking session on entrepreneur and skill development. Today's session. I also thank all the participants for being here with us today on the third day of the 6 days FDP. Looking forward to meet you all on the next webinar, which will be posted on the FDC Cells platform. Kindly attend the event and gain the benefit. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.